What if I told you about a guy who made almost 2,000 career three-pointers, was a three-time All-Star, an NBA champion, and was once considered one of the greatest shooters in NBA history? Just disappeared one day. That's what happened to our guy Peja Stojaković. One moment he was one of the NBA's deadliest shooters, helping lead the Kings to the top of the Western Conference, and the next, he kind of faded away and is barely even mentioned when talking about the best shooters. But how did this even happen? Where did he go? And what is he up to now? To understand how one of the most elite shooters faded from the spotlight, we have to go back to the beginning where this whole thing started. Peja Stojaković was born on June 9th, 1977, in the town of Požega, located in what was then part of the Socialist Republic of Croatia and Yugoslavia. His parents, Miodrag and Branka Stojaković, were of ethnic Serb descent. The Stojaković family roots trace back to the mountainous regions of Papuk, a place known for its rich natural beauty and rugged terrain. This small town, however, was far from the bright lights of big cities or the exciting sports arenas where Peja's future would unfold. Growing up in Yugoslavia, life for Peja and his family was simple, but as the 90s rolled in, the political landscape of Yugoslavia began to shift, and the country was torn apart by war as tensions in the regions escalated. The Stojaković family's peaceful life was disrupted. Like so many others in the region, with the outbreak of the Yugoslav wars, the ethnic Serb community faced increased fear and uncertainty. In a world turned upside down by violence, Peja's family made the decision to leave their home in Požega behind and seek safety in Belgrade, the capital of Serbia.
So this is interesting. I grew up in this in a country called Yugoslavia, multi-ethnic country. My family and I were Serbians living in Croatia at the time. Okay. And I have only played basketball in the middle school, it was kind of recreational. And then after the 8th grade, civil war started in our country. And me and my family, we were forced to leave everything behind us. So we went to Serbia, Belgrade, Serbia, and that's what everything started for me.
Peja was just 13 years old at the time. The war was brutal, defining a moment in his early life, and he quickly had to adapt to a new, harsh reality. His family lost their home, their business, and many of their possessions. With his father still in the war zone, Peja found himself stepping up as a source of support for his family in the middle of this chaos. It was a lot for a young teenager to handle, but this challenging situation shaped his character and laid the foundation for the resilience he would later display on and off the basketball court. Despite the turmoil in his life, Peja's love for basketball had been growing since he was a child. The game became an escape, a way for him to focus on something other than the hardships of war.
Yeah, it was my escape. Yeah, it helped me. It helped me find something new, something positive in my life. Seeing my parents and seeing other people who has left everything behind them, the struggle and all of that, everything they worked for all their life, they had to leave behind them. Basketball was, I don't know, it's, even to this day, I think about that. If war did not happen, I don't know if I would be playing basketball. Because I grew up in a small town of 20,000 people. And I mean, the only sports that we played in school. And I would probably continue and probably follow the footsteps of my parents, maybe work in the small town, work the land in a farm. I don't know. It's to this day, life is so unexpected, what they are dealing to you each and every day. And it was a blessing for me because I was able to kind of get away and just kind of focus on the basketball.
Peja joined Crvena Zvezda, or Red Star Belgrade, at just 15 years old. This was a significant milestone in his life. As Red Star was one of the most prestigious basketball clubs, it was also a moment of great promise for his future.
I was also lucky to have a coach who was a teacher, who was a mentor, who helped me learn the fundamentals of the basketball.
Yeah.
And it kind of unlocked in me those things, and it was like a domino.
At Red Star, Peja quickly proved himself to be a talented player. In his first season, he helped his team win the FR Yugoslav National Championship in the 1992-93 season. The achievement was monumental, not only because of the title itself, but because Peja was only 15 years old. His ability to play against older, more experienced athletes was remarkable and signaled to everyone that he had a special talent. However, Peja's time with Red Star wasn't just about championships and accolades, it was also about growth and development. He had a modest start, averaging just 2.9 points per game in his 39 appearances. But even with these modest numbers, Peja began to showcase his natural skills on the court. His shooting, ball handling, and basketball IQ were all on display. Even as a teenager, he was learning the ropes of professional basketball, and it was clear that this was just the beginning of something bigger. At the age of 16, Peja's career took a major turn. In 1993, he moved to Greece to play for one of the top basketball teams in the Greece League. This move was a big step for Peja, both personally and professionally. The decision to leave his home country at such a young age was not easy. His father remained in Serbia to fight in the war, and Peja had to navigate this challenging transition without the immediate support of his father. But the opportunity to play at a higher level of competition in Greece was one that Peja just couldn't pass up. And this was the perfect place for Peja to continue his development as a basketball player. The Greek League in the 1990s was one of the best in Europe, with teams like Olympiacos and Panathinaikos dominating the scene. It was here that Peja's skills truly began to shine. Playing alongside seasoned veterans, he quickly learned the ins and outs of the game, facing players who were stronger, faster, bigger, and more experienced. But Peja was up for the challenge. One of the most memorable moments of his time in Greece came during the 1998 Greek League playoffs when Peja hit a game-winning three-pointer against Olympiacos. The shot helped PAOK secure a dramatic win, and it was a defining moment in Peja's career. At just 21 years old, Peja was already displaying the clutch gene that would become a hallmark of his playing style later in his career. That shot was a statement. Peja was not just a young player with potential, he was a force to be reckoned with. Throughout his time with PAOK, Peja's game continued to evolve. He helped lead PAOK to a Greek Cup victory, and he showcased his shooting range, basketball smarts, and leadership on the court. In his final season with PAOK, he averaged 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game in the Greek League. On the European stage, he averaged 20 points per game in the Euro League, further solidifying his reputation as one of the top young players in Europe. It was during these years in Greece that Peja's name began to attract attention, not just in Europe, but also in the United States. NBA scouts were taking notice of the young Serbian star, and his performances against top-level competition were making waves. But while Peja's rise was quick, it wasn't without its challenges. He still had to prove himself, and the journey was far from over. Peja's time with Red Star Belgrade and PAOK Thessaloniki played a crucial role in shaping the player he would become. These experiences laid the groundwork for his eventual success in the NBA. Playing at Red Star gave Peja the opportunity to develop his skills in a competitive environment, even though his role at the time was more of a supportive one. With PAOK, he found a platform to truly shine, becoming the star player and proving that he could compete with Europe's best. By the time Peja left Greece to join the NBA, he had already developed the key skills that would help define his career: his deadly three-point shooting, his basketball IQ, and his ability to perform in clutch situations. His years in Greece were formative, both as a player and as a person. These experiences helped him build the resilience and drive that would be essential for success in the NBA. In 1996, Peja Stojaković was selected with the 14th overall pick in the NBA draft by the Sacramento Kings, a team that was building for a brighter future. At the time, the Kings were not a playoff contender, but they had a core of talented players and a new philosophy on how to play the game of basketball. For Peja, this was an opportunity to take his talents to the NBA, but his first 2 seasons were not what he or anyone else had imagined. Peja spent his initial years in the NBA mostly on the bench. His first 2 seasons were marked by limited playing time, but he used them as an opportunity to adjust to the faster-paced physicality of the NBA. The transition from the European game to the NBA was not easy. Peja struggled to find his place on the court. He was part of a talented but underachieving team. The team featured players like Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, and White Chocolate Jason Williams. Yet, it would take some time for him to break out and prove himself as an essential player. The turning point came in the 2000-2001 season, when Peja earned a full-time starting role. This season marked the beginning of his rise as one of the most dangerous shooters in the league. He finished the season averaging 20 points and 5 rebounds per game, proving that he was more than just a shooter. He was a versatile player who could contribute in many ways, and he played a key role in the Kings' success. His ability to stretch the floor with his three-point shooting allowed the Kings to space the court and play a fast-paced ball-sharing style of basketball that would become their trademark. Peja's breakout season earned him recognition around the league, and he finished second in voting for the NBA's Most Improved Player award. He was no longer just a role player on a rebuilding team. He was a star in the making. He also earned his first selection to the NBA All-Star Game in 2002, a recognition that solidified his place among the NBA's elite. But it wasn't just the regular season where Peja shined. The 2002 season saw the Kings make a deep playoff run, with Peja playing a crucial role in the team's success. The team reached the Western Conference Finals, a stage that they had not reached in over a decade. Peja was a key contributor in this playoff run, showing his ability to step up in big moments. Unfortunately, the Kings fell short in a controversial series against the Los Angeles Lakers, a series that many still debate to this day regarding their questionable refereeing decisions. Nonetheless, Peja's performance in the playoffs helped elevate his status as one of the league's premier players. Peja's success wasn't limited to just scoring. In addition to his shooting, he became a more well-rounded player, contributing in all aspects of his game. He was a strong rebounder for his position, averaging over 5 rebounds per game during his best seasons. He also improved his playmaking ability, adding more assists to his game. His shooting, of course, was off the charts, and his accuracy from beyond the arc made him one of the most feared shooters in the league. Over the next few years, Peja continued to perform at a high level for the Kings. He made 3 consecutive All-Star appearances from 2002 to 2004. He won the three-point contest during the NBA All-Star Weekend twice in 2002 and 2003, and he was among the best in the league hitting from deep. Peja's impact on the Kings was undeniable. He helped lead them to some of their most successful stretches in franchise history, pushing the team to the top of the Western Conference. However, despite the individual success and the team's progress, the Kings could never get over the hump in the postseason. They were consistently competitive, but were always met with stiff competition from powerhouses like the Lakers, the Spurs, the Mavericks. By the mid-2000s, the Kings' roster began to age, and the team started to decline. Peja, who had been a key part of the team's offense, was about to embark on a new chapter of his journey. In January of 2006, Peja was traded to the Indiana Pacers in exchange for Ron Artest. The trade marked the end of Peja's 8-year stint with the Kings, and it was clear that a new challenge awaited him in Indiana, and Peja was expected to fill the role of an outside shooting threat to complement the team's star Jermaine O'Neal. Peja's time with the Pacers, however, was plagued by injuries. After arriving in Indiana, he struggled with nagging issues that affected his performances on the court. While Peja was still a dangerous shooter, he was unable to play at the level he had been accustomed to, particularly during the postseason. In the first round of the 2006 playoffs, the Pacers faced the New Jersey Nets, but Peja was sidelined for 4 games due to injury, and the Pacers lost the series. His time with the Pacers was short-lived, as injuries continued to limit his impact and the team eventually looked to rebuild. After a brief stint with the Pacers, Peja signed a lucrative 5-year deal with the New Orleans Hornets in the summer of 2006. The Hornets were in the midst of a rebuilding phase, but they had a young star in Chris Paul, and the addition of Peja gave them a legitimate scoring threat. Peja's arrival helped transform the Hornets into a playoff contender, and the team would go on to have some of its best years during his tenure. In the 2007-2008 season, Peja played a key role in the Hornets' success. The team won a franchise record 56 games and captured its first division title. Peja's ability to stretch the floor with his shooting helped open up the offense for Chris Paul and other teammates like David West and Tyson Chandler. The Hornets made it to the second round of the playoffs, where they faced the defending champion San Antonio Spurs. Peja had some memorable performances, including scoring 23 points per game during his first 2 games of the series, shooting an incredible 63% from beyond the arc. However, the Hornets were eliminated by the Spurs in 7 games, ending their playoff run. Over the next few seasons, injuries began to take their toll on Peja's body once again, and he was no longer the consistent contributor he had once been. While he had some excellent individual games, his body was wearing down and the Hornets' success was limited. Peja played through back and knee injuries, and the team eventually made the decision to rebuild, which led to Peja's departure. In November of 2010, Peja was traded to the Toronto Raptors, but his time with the team was brief. He appeared in only 2 games before being released due to ongoing knee injuries. Peja's injury struggles were becoming more and more of a problem, and it was clear that he was no longer able to play at the level he had once enjoyed. It was a disappointing chapter in his career, but Peja's resilience would lead him to one final opportunity. In January of 2011, Peja signed with the Dallas Mavericks, a team that was looking to add depth and shooting to its roster for a playoff run. The Mavericks were a strong team with veterans like Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Kidd, and they were determined to win a championship. Peja's role with the Mavericks was primarily a shooter off the bench, but he played a key part in their championship run. Peja contributed to 7 points per game during the Mavericks playoff campaign, and the 3-point shooting helped space the floor for the team. In 2 of the playoff games, Peja scored over 20 points, reminding fans of the player he once was. The Mavericks eventually won the 2011 NBA championship, defeating the Big Three in the Miami Heat in 6 games to secure their first ever NBA title. For Peja, it was the perfect way to cap off his career. After the championship, Peja announced his retirement, citing ongoing injuries that had made it difficult for him to continue to play at a high level. Peja Stojaković also had a successful international career with FR Yugoslavia national basketball team. He represented his country in numerous international tournaments, earning accolades and medals along the way. Peja's skill set and ability to perform on the global stage solidified his place as one of the greatest European basketball players ever. Peja's first international success came in 1999 when he helped Yugoslavia's national team win the bronze medal in the FIBA Euro basketball tournament. The following year, Peja played a key role in helping his team capture the gold medal at the 2001 FIBA Euro basketball in Turkey. Peja was also named the tournament's MVP, a recognition of his outstanding play throughout the competition. Peja's international success continued in 2002 when he played a significant role in Yugoslavia's national team's gold medal victory at the FIBA World Championship in Indianapolis. Peja's all-around play earned him a spot on the all-tournament team, joining fellow NBA stars like Manu Ginobili, Dirk Nowitzki, and Yao Ming. This victory helped solidify Peja's reputation as one of the premier international players of his generation. Throughout his international career, Peja's contributions were vital in securing major championships for his country. He finished out his national team career at Eurobasket 2003, where the newly formed Serbian team finished in 6th place. Though his international career began to wind down after that, Peja's legacy on the global stage was firmly cemented. After retiring from the NBA in 2011, Peja transitioned into an executive role where he used his wealth of experience to help shape the future of basketball for both the Sacramento Kings and beyond. In 2015, Peja Stojaković made his first entry into the business side of basketball when he was appointed Director of Player Personnel and Development for the Sacramento Kings. This was a natural step for Peja, who has spent over a decade playing for the Kings and had developed a deep understanding of the team's culture and needs. His time as a player in the 2000s, when the Kings were one of the most successful teams in the Western Conference, gave him a strong foundation in both basketball strategy and player development. As the Director of Player Personnel and Development, Peja's role was to oversee the scouting and development of players. This included evaluating young talent, overseeing the Kings player development program, and working closely with coaches to ensure that the team was nurturing its players' potential. Peja's extensive knowledge gained throughout his playing career made him an ideal candidate to mentor young players and help guide their growth. Peja's impact in his role was felt quickly. His ability to identify talent and help players develop in a system that emphasized teamwork and efficiency was invaluable to the Kings. He had seen firsthand how a strong team culture could lead to success, and he was eager to help the Kings rebuild after a period of underperforming. In 2018, Peja was promoted to Assistant General Manager of the Sacramento Kings. This promotion allowed him to take on even more responsibility, including helping shape the team's roster and influencing decisions on player acquisitions. As an assistant general manager, Peja was deeply involved in the team's day-to-day operations, working alongside the general manager to make crucial decisions that would impact the team's future. It was a significant promotion, one that reflected the trust that the Kings organization had in Peja's basketball knowledge and his vision for the team. Peja also served as the general manager of the Stockton Kings, the Kings NBA Development League team that's now known as the G League affiliate. The Stockton Kings provided a platform for younger and less experienced players to develop their skills and gain valuable playing time. As general manager, Peja was responsible for overseeing the development of the team's roster, scouting for new talent, and working with coaching staff to help players refine their skills. This was an important role for Peja, as it allowed him to continue shaping the future of the game by helping to mold the next generation of basketball players. In August of 2020, Peja made the decision to step down from his position as assistant general manager of the Kings. The move marked the end of his time in an official role with the Kings. While his exact reason for his departure weren't fully disclosed, it was clear that Peja had made a significant impact on the organization during his time with them. His extensive experience as a player in both the NBA and international basketball, combined with his keen eye for talent and player development, made him a key figure for the Kings front office. After leaving the Kings, Peja's career as an executive was far from over. He continued to stay connected to the game in various ways, including mentoring young players and contributing to the overall development of basketball talent. And while he may have stepped down from his former role with the Kings, his legacy as a leader in basketball continues to influence the game. As of late 2024 and early 2025, you can catch Peja supporting his son's basketball dream at the University of California, or at Kings games supporting his old team. Peja Stojakovic's legacy as one of the greatest shooters in NBA history is well established. He was known for his incredible three-point shooting, and his impact on the floor was undeniable. Over his career, Peja made 1,763 pointers, which ranked him fourth all-time at the time of his retirement. Even today, Peja's name is synonymous with elite shooting, and he remains one of the best shooters the NBA has ever seen. Peja Stojakovic's impact on basketball extends beyond just his time in the NBA. As one of the most successful European players to ever play in the league, Peja played a significant role in bridging the gap between European basketball players and the NBA. His success in both the NBA and European competition helped pave the way for future European players to make the impact in the NBA. Peja was one of the early pioneers of the international player movement that has become so prominent in today's NBA. His success in the Greek League, followed by his outstanding NBA career, helped open doors for future European players to make their mark in the league. Players like Dirk Nowitzki, Manu Ginobili, and now Luka Doncic are all part of the legacy that Peja helped create. Peja's journey showed that European players can not only compete at the highest level, but also excel and become some of the most influential players in the NBA. Beyond the influence on European players, Peja also had a lasting impact on the NBA's offensive strategies. His ability to shoot from long distance combined with his basketball IQ helped shape the way teams now approach spacing and floor management. Today, the three-point shot is a cornerstone of most NBA offenses, and Peja was one of the first players to truly master that aspect of the game. His success helped solidify the three-pointer as one of the most important weapons in the modern NBA arsenal. Besides the hoops, Peja's personal life revolves around his family and his deep connection to Greece. He is married to Greek model Alika Kamila, and together they have 3 children. One of their children, Andre, is continuing the family basketball legacy by playing for the California Golden Bears. The Stojakovic family resides in Greece, a place that holds a special meaning for Peja, having spent significant years there during his career. In addition to being a family man, Peja also fulfilled his mandatory military service in the Hellenic Army, which is required of all Greek male citizens. This experience was an important part of Peja's life and helped shape his sense of discipline and duty, qualities that carried over into his basketball career. Beyond his family and military service, Peja is deeply committed to philanthropy. Through his Peja Stojaković Children's Foundation, he has worked to improve the lives of children in Serbia and Greece, and the foundation focuses on providing food, shelter, and financial assistance to children who are refugees or living in poverty. Having experienced hardships as a young refugee during the Yugoslav wars himself, Peja understands the importance of helping those in need. His foundation has supported countless children and families, offering them resources to help build their futures. Peja's journey from a refugee to one of the most successful international players in NBA history is a testament to his resilience, talent, and love for the game. Today, his legacy continues to inspire young players around the world, and his influence on the game will be felt for years to come. But what if I told you about a guy who had over 12,000 career points, nearly 2,000 career blocks, was an NBA All-Star, a 3-time All-Defensive Team selection, and one of the most versatile defenders the league has ever seen, just disappeared one day? If you want to know what happened to Andre Kirilenko, just click right here.